interactions help people even understand trading better. And that's what we want to achieve. So now you are at 5 minutes chart. That is 5 minutes chart. And then we wanted to check the price from a 15 minutes chart. Your video is still open, but it's okay. If you check, no, she left. It's I want to help her with this because it's very important to help. It's okay though. So now at the moment I'm able to see it because I'm using the laptop. It's okay. It's okay. Let me just quickly go to log in to the session also, so that I'm able to monitor from a different device our session. Can you please move one step back? That is the return button. Leader name, we want to go to the question you're asking. Yes. So now you wanted to check at the moment. Just look at the price. Just look at the price and you'll see something there. Just look at the price. You'll see that the price, okay, currently it's not moving much, okay, but at least there's minor movement now, minus 4.51, and that's what you will see there. Yeah. Okay, she was okay, but she's trying to get in. She was fine, but she went out again. But it's fine. We will see as she comes back. So let's look at. Let's click on the sub bin. Yes. You see the strategy information. That is where we are at now. We want to move to the right of that. Above sell button, you will see sub bin there. You'll see sub bin. Okay. Yes. So now what you are able to see there is, just for a moment, you are able to see the calls. You are able to see the calls there that have been taken, starting with 5th call. Sub bin is for the sub positions. That is from position number 5, 6, 7 going up like that. So it's the question that you asked of how do you know the price level at which your call was entered into or triggered or taken by the bot. It's a very good question, because I know you're on the like MetaTrader 4, you are able to see the entry level. The line there, they show you at what level you entered, and then whether the price is above that or it's below that, depending on whether you went long or short and so forth. So it's a good thing it's a good actually question that you asked a business partner name there. So what we want to do now is we want to establish each price at which a certain amount of money was placed into the market by the bot, for instance. In this case, what you see now is at the bottom, or firstly, you can see the 5th call. You can see 5th call, right? Look at the 5th call and then its average price. Call number 5. You don't need to scroll. Like when I see it, it means you can also see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Thank you, sir. So now the average price of it is 0.2738. That is the average price for call number 5 alone. For call number 5 alone, it means amount of money, position amount is 48.03. 48.03, it means that is the amount of money. Position amount, we're speaking of dollar. The USDT that went in. Little Lerato there, you can mute. Thank you and welcome. So what is happening there is this. It's thank you leadership. So what happened there is Average price, Lidangam, is the price at which that margin call was taken, which is margin call number 5. That's what we are focusing at, which is 0, the average price is 0.2738. You know, that is amount of cents that bake was costing, for instance, when this particular trade was entered into. But very, very important, without scrolling, without doing anything, business partners, you know, when people pay attention to this lesson right now and they follow it through nicely, we all are going to become best traders in quantitative trading, because all the information we need is here. Now, look at the current price. Can you give me the current price at the moment? You don't need to scroll, it's there.
Yeah, it's 0.2650.
Thank you, sir. That is the current price. The current price is the market price. The price according to now. It means at the moment, bake costs 26 cents, so to speak, 0.2651, for instance. That is what it is at the moment. So, however, you have already acquired some bake according to the margin calls. You know, margin call number 5 tells us that bake was bought when the price was at the average price there, which is 0.2738. So now you automatically know that if the current price is lower than your average price on call number 5, so it means you cannot buy expensive and sell cheap. You are not making profit. So you cannot buy something for 27 cents and sell it for 26 cents. You see, that is what is happening, because 26 is lesser than what you bought at. So you don't want to sell in a loss. You don't want to sell in a floating loss. No. You don't want to do that. So that is the reason why the robot will not release call number 5 until the current price trades above 27.38 cents there, which is 0.2738. Business partners. Very, very, very important that when we come into our positions, you look at your average price and you look at where the market is. And then at the moment, the market is making an attempt to rise a bit, because we are seeing reduction in price movement. We are seeing not actually in return rate, so to speak. Return rate of -4 is now -3.79. What does that mean? It means the market is rising. As the market is rising, it means positive percentages are increasing. And when they're increasing like that, it means your asset is appreciating. Your asset is becoming bigger in value. Therefore, you will be due to sell it for profit. That is what is happening now at this point in time. So now, earlier when we came into the session, we could see return rate was around -4, going towards -5, but it retraced, it recovered. Now return rate is sitting at -3.83%. That is what is happening at the moment. And now it shows as the market dips again, return rate, the negatives are increasing, -3.97. Now it's -4. Business partners are watching. So as this happens, it means the market is fluctuating. It's fluctuating. It's moving up and down like that. Why is it moving like this? It's moving like this, business partners, because some people are either selling or buying. You know, at the moment, there might be people who placed positions yesterday or today and so forth, or even a few minutes earlier, because the market actually increased from where it was. And then I would like us we would like to show people exactly what transpired with this particular trade here. Business planners, we have placed call margin number 7. And call margin number 7, we have $200 that is due to come into this market. And then we did that on trade settings. This is recorded and people will be able to see that. We did it on trade settings, and then we're expecting call number 7 to come in with $200, for instance, And then we are doing this on bake because we're anticipating this to literally pump. But we wanted to show business partners. We wanted, Leader Napi, you are not muted. We wanted business partners to see exactly what is happening with movement of price, and also to understand your position against market price. So market price, you cannot control it. And nobody can control that because markets are volatile. Or what is it that is volatile? The asset that we are trading. The asset we are trading can go up, can go down. And by so doing, it gives an opportunity to people across the globe to either buy or sell. You who has already bought, you depend on price also to determine whether you can sell or not, for instance, because you cannot buy something expensive and sell it cheap. It means you can't buy high and sell low. No. You buy low and then you sell high. And that is the good concept of making money and accumulating buying power, like profits and so forth, as the price moves up and down like this. So what we wanted to check is the quantities that we have acquired, and then at what prices did we acquire or buy those quantities of this volatile asset. Now, in this case, position number 5, the 5th call, shows us that average price was 0.2738. Average price is always history. It's the price at which the asset was previously bought. You know, that's exactly what happened. And average price is always fixed. It's always fixed for the sub-bin positions. However, for the whole warehouse, average price keeps on changing based on the new margin calls that are taken. Like at the moment, it's our call number 7, Mr. Ngam, is not coming in simply because market is actually pushing up. And then you are able to see that the market is pushing up through return rate, because you can see our return rate is minus 3.79%, for instance, at the moment. It's not going to greater than -4, for instance. So now, for people who don't see this in terms of numbers, we can show them from the candlesticks to see the graphic representation of price movement, for instance. And then he's going to the candlesticks now. Yes, at the moment, business partners, you can see that he is currently on 5 minutes chart. Can you please try and enlarge the candlestick just with 2 fingers, just to make it bigger, the screen in the middle? Yes, thank you, sir. Oh, that's beautiful. So now this business partners is on 15 minutes. I beg your pardon. It's on 5 minute chart. Why did we go into 5 minute chart? It's because we were impatient, you know, on 15 minutes chart. We could see that the coin actually was going down, but we were wondering, why is it going down? Because we want to see some rising movement. But now we had to come to 15 minutes chart. So if you want to see what is happening inside the body of the current candlestick, for instance, or 5 minutes chart, you will go to a lower time frame. You can move from 5 minutes to 1 minute, for instance. Even a second is there, for instance, and you will see exactly what is happening. But currently, you can see, and always remember, market move from left to right. So the current candlestick is yet to be closed. After 5 minutes, it's going to close this current candlestick. 25 minutes past, a new candlestick will come in and the current one will close. Just a split of a millisecond, whatever, a new candlestick is going to be issued. But currently, can you see the market is shooting up, and we are looking at the 5 minute time frame or interval. So you can see the current candlestick, the blue area where you see time changing, and so rather price changing. We call that price action, for instance. You are able to see that currently the price is shooting higher, and then currently the price is above the moving average. I can maybe call it the pink line. The middle line there is the average price movement on this interval, for instance. Whatever time interval you find yourself in, currently we're using a BOLL indicator, Bollinger Band. So you are able to see how the price is moving, whether it is oversold or overbought, for instance. Currently, price has just crossed above the middle line, which is the moving average. So it means the market somehow is bullish, and we're expecting this to continuously be pushing up and up like that. So there are ways you can employ into this. Simply apply with an intent to collect more profits, business partners, and nobody can stop you from taking advantage of this, because at the moment you can see about few minutes ago, you can see that the price was at the bottom there. Business partners, if you look at the big or the longer red candlestick that engulfed these other candlesticks on the right hand side, for instance, you can see it went to the lower low of 0.2513. Imagine 2513 cents or 2513 cents. That is what actually the lowest the price dumped to. And then immediately when the price hit 0.2513 cents, the bears gained strength. They pushed the market up against the bulls, I beg your pardon. The bulls pushed the market up, so to speak. So, and then at the moment, you can see where the price is holding. You know, it fell, but immediately there was a push upwards. And these are the things that will always happen from time to time. And we want that 200 to go in, because if please leader Ngem would like you to go to 15 minutes time frame, just a bigger time frame, so that we have a bigger picture of the market formation in terms of the candlesticks, and then you will know exactly what we are looking at. Now, look at the bigger time frame now. We are now on the 15 minutes chart. So which means this current candlestick, can you see, business partners? The current candlestick under 15 minutes is appearing green, although the current one under the smaller time frame is currently red, because there's a minor downward movement inside this 15 minutes time frame or candlestick, and we're able to see it. We could see it ourselves, that under 5 minutes the market is actually pushing downward. That is why you are able to see that wick there, or the shadow, you know, that smaller line above the green body of the current candlestick, for instance. That is to show you that it went up there, but now a little bit the bears are pushing the price downward. But overall sentiment for this is that this has to pump. You know, we expect this to pump. It's actually, as you can see, it is right at the bottom of the band, the lower band, which shows that this has been actually oversold. It means the selling pressure has been so much that the bears are now losing their strength, and we're expecting bulls to push the price upwards. Bulls, now we're speaking of traders who are buyers, who are buying, you know, this particular asset. So what happens is this: literally, we are doing spot trading. You are not losing money in any way. You know, you are actually you are borrowing your money to the market by releasing your dollars and acquiring the asset that is volatile. And then the asset that you have today will enable you to convert it again into dollars. But the way in which you will do that, you will do it according to the return rate, for instance. You should convert it when it is profitable for you to do so, meaning the return rate must be in the positive, for instance. So now, Leader Ngam was asking that why is he seeing the entry level from the candlesticks? He would have actually desired to see a line, a horizontal line that crosses horizontally across that passes through the candlesticks, for instance, horizontally, showing him, say for instance, margin call 7, for instance, so that you see these calls, margin calls, visible on the chart, which is something that happens on the Forex chart, for instance. Like I spoke of MetaTrader 4 or 5, you are able to see the entry levels and so forth. But I'm of the opinion perhaps in future, such actually can be done by Royal Q. And then I will suggest perhaps traders to send to Royal Q. But now just imagine how clumsy the chart may be, especially with people who are buying at closer intervals, actually price intervals, buying several times, for instance. Imagine so many lines that will be plotted on here. The easiest you can do, for instance, is this imaginary. You can simply go to your transaction page and then click on the sub bin to see your sub positions. If you're not trading sub positions, that is, if you are only trading 4, 3, 2, 1, or the first line amount only, you simply look at the average price that appears at the upper part of the transaction page. One step back, sir. One step back, you're going to say we will be at a transaction page. This is a transaction page, business partners. So now we have the main average price, which is the one on top, which is above the current price, that one of 0.2762. Ladies and gentlemen, very important for all of us to understand this. The one you see on top there includes everything. It includes all the margin calls. The average price of 0.2762, it includes the first buying amount and the 6 margin calls that have already been taken. You can see at the top right corner, we have 6 numbers of call margin at the moment. It means at 6 different price levels, the robot kept on buying. And what Royal Q did, it brought all those prices together and then divided by the number of purchases actually that took place, and then the average price was calculated, and that's what we have there, 0.2762. That is the price at which the entire quantity that you have, which is 1,190.2 pieces of bake, so to speak, if that makes sense. So now that was actually bought with an amount of the position amount, which is 328 US dollars and 8,333 cents. That's what actually happened here. Earlier, we mentioned that cryptocurrencies are divisible to more decimal places, like Bitcoin to 8 decimal places. You know, Satoshi is 0.7 zeros and 1. That is a single Satoshi, for instance, the smallest part of Bitcoin, so to speak. So now, here with crypto, you'll always see smaller prices, you know, but still making a meaningful transaction, simply because of the amount of money that you have put into that particular asset. So that's what is happening, business partners. You will see, like, for instance, here, because Bake was bought with $328.83, for instance, when the price was around 0.2762, which is the average price. The quantity is 1,190.2, for instance. But if this amount of 320 was to be pushed into Bitcoin, you're not even going to have a single Bitcoin. You'll have 0, some zeros thereafter, because Bitcoin is expensive at the moment. You know, it's expensive, above 60,000. I don't know where it's sitting at the moment, but that's what is happening. So in trading, business partners, there's nothing that is hidden. There's nothing that is out of your sight. Everything is right before your eyes, and then you are able to work with all the variables to make sure that you are profitable in your trades. So in Royal Q, you actually you don't risk losing your asset, because your asset is important. That is the quantity. If you don't have the quantity, you will not be able to sell later when prices pump, for instance, or when the price becomes greater than what you bought at. So I want to show you something. At the moment, all of us can see that the current price is 0.26, and then the average price at the upper part of the page, the average price is 0.27. It means all these $328 was put into this market while the market was trading around 0.2762, for instance. But at the moment, the market has actually went down by minus 3.79%, according to the return rate of your asset, so to speak. So with this, then looking at the price difference, for instance, you can see that it's not really far. The market is not really far from 27 cents, because currently the market is at 26 cents. So the market just requires the return rate, but in the positive direction, meaning upward. What is needed for this position to go into profit is for the market to pump by plus 3.57%. If the market goes up by plus 3 or up by 3%, so to speak, what will happen? The negatives will be cancelled out and we'll have zero return rate. Zero return rate, it means everything is on par. You are not in a floating loss, you are not in a floating profit. And if you are to close the position at that level, it means you're just closing and you're coming out of the position, but you are not incurring some losses or you are not coming out with profits. I'm just giving an example in that case. But then what we do, business partners, is this now. We switch to SBM RTS, that is a mode of sub-bin mode real-time settlement in full. That enables you to continue to do what? To collect profits from this particular market, even when your overall position is still in a negative return rate. Because sub-bin mode real-time settlement enables you to take extra or additional calls from starting from 5 upward, call number 5, 6, up to 999. You can then be able to be buying and selling the same asset, collecting profits from it, even going in with bigger numbers, continuing to milk that market, making profits for yourself, but you'll be paying attention to the price movement, for instance, looking at your bands of the Bollinger Bands there. If you always time moments where the asset is overbought, rather oversold, so to speak. Oversold, it means it is down there. It means the selling was so much that the bears are losing strength. And our leader is going there into it now. Currently, we are on the 15 minutes time frame. But have you noticed that even when we are here, movement, it's not really that much. Movement is not really that much. Hence, as a trader, if it happens at any stage, you always liquid, you always have USDT, and then you look at the market and then, your candlesticks there, you can see that a red candlestick was issued and it broke below the lower band. No matter what, actually, the bulls are so much into pushing the price back. Nobody wants to lose, actually, between the bulls and the bears, so to speak, So whenever the candlesticks break below the lower band, it's an area of oversold. It means sort of you've crossed the line against the bulls, and the bulls are going to immediately push the price up. That's where, but now you need to know what you're doing. So individuals that then traders, intraday traders, are able to even say, I put 1,000 there, because literally that is true to correct. But anything can happen. The bears can continue to push the price downwards further. That is possible. So now, that is why when you trade with caution. Your psychology must be very good. You shouldn't be confused. You shouldn't be emotionally attached to what is happening with price movement and so forth, and pay attention to the amount of money that you go in with. Like when you trade, think about it this way. You want to make big profits, but if the market goes down further, are you still at peace? Will you still be at peace? would you still be able to sleep nicely at night, knowing that a position is trapped and the market is continuing to go down, for instance? Are you not going to be mad at that particular asset, for instance, whether it be Bitcoin, Bake, and so forth, whatever crypto that you're trading, for instance? Because such moments are possible, business partners. And also the news, a lot of things can affect market volatility. What is it that will cause people to move money out of an asset? You know, issues that threaten their lives, for instance. If there's a war looming in America, people with money will literally hold on to their own money. Remember, investors don't care. You know, they invest, especially in South Africa here, we see of our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, attracting foreign direct, whatever investment into the country and so forth. But hey, if they lose it as politicians in terms of bringing stability into the country, investors don't seek permission from you to pull their monies out. They just do that and they don't care. You will manage the crisis yourself, the consequences of whatever it is that will be happening in your own house, in your own country, just like that. And the same thing, it may be a high level scenario, but think of it for yourself. When you take money for groceries or for your kids' school fees, for instance, you push it into an asset and then hoping that you will make 10%, 3% out of that, and you make that money for something else. What happens instead of 10% profit being made, you are floating with 30% on that asset. If you're floating with 30%, it means you put $1,000 because you wanted to make quick buck, simply because you know how to trade. And all of a sudden, you are floating with minus 30%, which means now if you want that money desperately, you will need to sell in a floating loss of 30%, which is minus 30% return rate on that position. It means now you'll be selling that asset for $700. The asset that you bought maybe last week with $1,000, you can't sell it for 1,000 anymore because the price has dropped. So you'll always release your asset as per the current price. You can't go into history. You can't push time backward so that you correct your transaction. You know, you can't do that. So, and that is what is happening, business partners. And this is incredible. It's like principles of faith, you know. When you believe in God, you believe in God now. You say, if you believe your life will change, you have to believe now. Now, faith, you know, is the substance. You know, it's about now, so to speak. Even with the market, current price is important. You are a trader. You go into your app, look at the current price. Okay, the current price is this. Already in your mind, you should know that, okay, I traded Bitcoin around $70. Whenever you go into the market and you see, oh, Bitcoin is 65, 64, you know you're still in a floating loss. Do you understand? You know you're still in a floating loss. Do you still want to expose a certain quantity of your USDT or a certain amount, so to speak, of your USDT to Bitcoin? If that's the case, okay, shop, it's a good thing to trade the asset that you are already holding, so to speak, because by so doing, you are reducing the overall average price. You are bringing it closer to the market price. You are bringing it closer to the market price, and at the same time, you are increasing the quantity of the very asset that you have. And when you increase a quantity of the asset that you are holding, and it's a good asset, so to speak, you are literally adding more positives to that, because quantity is king. You know, that is why you don't buy the same quantity with all 1,000 at once. You know, you buy having margin call drop in mind so that you'll buy again later. This will allow you to do what? Exercise patience. At the moment, business partners, we've been watching this. Look under 15 minutes time frame. It is issuing a red candlestick. So if you're to go into 5 minutes time frame, you already see few candlesticks, 2, 3 already in the right, for instance, or so, you know, showing you that inside the smaller body, inside the bigger time frame interval, so to speak, time interval, within it, there are happenings of price movement, whether upward or downward. And this is what you are balancing every day, business partners. And we're not just trading against your family members who will be telling you that, mommy, now I'm going up here or I'm buying. No. Some people are literally selling because there's a funeral at home. I'm just giving an example, and they need that money desperately. It means they have to sell despite their return rate, for the sake of the loved ones sent off. They will sell. It's a sacrifice they have to make for a family member. I'm giving an example, you see? And then some are selling simply because they had a deadline, for instance, for a payment that needs to be made. And then they are cutting losses and they have to sell, for instance. But for you who is patient and you are a professional in this, you know that you plan your things, for instance. You plan your things and you stick to your money management, and you are able to say, no, I don't have money, even though you have it. Because you know that money is not for emergencies. You understand? That money is for the plan you have. So as a result, you continue to stick to your strategy and you become profitable. You are not doing this as a hobby. This is business for you. And then you treat it as such. You don't eat your stock, It's something of that nature. You rather increase, you rather increase when the prices are nicer, meaning when the prices are cheaper, you acquire more quantity, knowing that you are due to sell better. Someone who hasn't been buying, when the prices are rising, they are just watching a movie. They're just spectators because they've got nothing to sell, for instance. You see? That is why we have this rule of saying, buy the dip. Why are you buying the dip? So that you will sell better later. And then buying the dip is a question of what do you have reserves? Do you have money to go into the market and so forth? Yes, it's possible to make even more than 100% of your capital in a month. It's possible, yes, but it requires discipline, for instance, for such to be achieved, business partners. That is what is happening. On the 5-minute time frame, we can see price at the moment has crossed above. In fact, a new candlestick has been issued even on the 15 minutes time frame. Because look at the top right corner of Mr. Ngem's time is 2046. 2046, it means a new candlestick under 15 minutes time frame has actually emerged, has been issued by the market. And then now that candlestick, it has 1 minute already in existence. And the previous one will never change, remains history. All the candlesticks you see from right going backwards to the left, markets move from left to right, for instance. All these other candlesticks you see, they opened and they closed, and they will remain like this for eternity. The one that has an opportunity to give us a story that could be in our favor or against us is the current candlestick, which is price action, for instance. It can either close in the green, which is bullish, or close in the red, which is bearish. Bullish, it means an increase in the price from the moment the candlestick opened and then closed. And then bearish, it means the candlestick closed at a price that is lower than the one it opened at. And then the opening and the closing price of between the current and the previous is always the same. The price at which one candlestick closes is the price at which the next will be opening, and then that is why you will see they are always aligned there, So this is very important, business partners, and it just requires a calm mind, manage your emotions, and then understand that this is an opportunity for you to make money and enjoy what is happening. At the moment, yes, thank you, sir. We can see that the current candlestick it's green. In the current one, it's green, and then the one before the current is also green, and the two of them actually. So which means price has just been somehow moving steadily upward, but with not much difference. So what do you do there? You just need to be patient because you have your take profit percentage. But what we like to do is, let's move one step back, please, with the return button of your phone. We want to go, business partners, and look at the price of position number 7 if it's been taken or not. And it hasn't been taken as yet. So let's review, please, our trade setting. We will go to trade setting at the bottom left. We just want to check if all is in order with regards to, you can see business partners, margin call limit. We have 7 there. So position number 6, we have seen is already in. And then, so we go to margin configuration. Let's double check if our parameters are actually the way we think. Margin, yes. And then let's go to position number 7 at the bottom. Yes, there we go. So you can see, business partners, that we wanted 0.1% down. And what we wanted is for the robot to buy with $12 multiplied by 16.7. $12 by 16.7 times will give us around $200. That we want to go into this so that at least we're able to collect something from this upward trend that we are seeing at the moment in this particular asset. And then we are okay with that. Those settings are good. So let's come out, please. There is also something that we're going to do, because this is one shot. Can you please click on distributed and take profit allocation? We want to make sure that position number 7 has 5% on it also. Distributed and take profit allocation at the bottom, sir. Distributed and take profit allocation. Yes, at the bottom. Okay, we are happy. It has 5% there. That's good. Then we can say sure. That's what we are hoping for, business partners, that if this goes up, and this is very important. Let me explain this. Have you seen return rate is minus 3%? So it means for this 5% that we're expecting, 5% take profit, business partners, to happen, it means literally, it means that this asset, this position, your asset, the rising of this asset, the appreciation must be by at least 8%. Why 8%? 8% because currently this position has minus 3%. Let's go for overall. Let's come out, please, of this. Let's come out. We can click on return because we're not saving anything. Excuse me. We're not saving anything. They say, do you want to save? Just return. We don't want to save because we didn't make changes to this. Now, look at this, business partners. You can see that return rate is minus 3.83%. So now you have a take profit percentage of 5%. That is for the whole asset. I'm not talking about just position number 7, for instance, or 6. We're just focusing on the whole position at this point. Can you please click on strategy information? Moving from the sub bin to the left, to the left is strategy information. Strategy information, just above 5th call is strategy information. We want to see, yes, on the same page, there's strategy information. To the left of sub bin. To the left of sub bin.
I'm looking for it. Strategy information.
Yes, sir. Above call number 5, 5th call above is where it's written strategy information. And we're also helping those who are watching because we're not using highlight. You don't need to scroll. It's there. It's above 5th call, strategy information. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So now currently we are on the strategy information. And then if you go to the bottom part of this page, you will see whole warehouse or whatever, take profit. A bottom part of this, just take us downwards to strategy details. Strategy details. I keep going down. It's right at the bottom. Yes. Yeah, there. Take profit ratio. You say take profit ratio, it means take profit target, take profit percentage is 5% there, business partners. So now, because it's 5%, it's now think like this. Don't think it will happen by luck or, I'm prayer also. I'm not ruling prayer out. I believe in prayer. But what I'm trying to say is now here we need to be practical. with our expectations and so forth. When you say you want to take 5% from this position, what do you mean exactly? Now, let's go to the upper part. It means 5% appreciation. And 5% appreciation, it means 5% growth or 5% increase. But then for that 5% to happen, business partners, it means the market must first go up by 3%, 3.72% to cancel minus 3.72 that you see. The market must push upward. It means money must come into this market from other people in different parts of the world to push this market upward so that your floating loss can first be cleared. And after your floating loss of minus 3.75 is cleared, now return rate will start showing you 1%. That is plus 1%, plus 2%, plus 3%, plus 4%, plus 3%, plus 5%. This means that the market would have pumped by at least 8% for you before your 5% can be realized. So this then shows you that there's no easy way of making real money. That is why a lot of people work until old age, but still not having millions. Do you understand? Because of salary that is tied to the inflation rate and the repo rate and everything to keep government systems going, for instance. Do you understand? So that is just what it is. So which means now if you want to beat this, then you must become a real thinker. A real thinker and be disciplined in terms of aligning your strategies, usage of your money, for your money to work for you. Then you pay attention to what is happening in terms of the economic news, calendar, and what is happening, who is threatening what, where is the war looming now, how will this affect your assets and all those kind of stuffs. That's where now you see that there is no easy way of making money. People don't become impatient because of lack of knowledge. You see, when you have knowledge, you will apply patience because you understand that it takes a lot for something to move. This money, it's not a money that is just, you just punch it into a computer and it appears. No. Literally, this is people's hard-earned money, sweat, and so forth, blood, for things to move. In the sacrifices are made for money to be made available, into these crypto assets. So it takes a lot to move markets. It takes a lot to move markets. And as a result, if you want to make money out of this, you'll continue to learn, you'll continue to understand that for a price to pump, you should be grateful for that there are people out there who moved that crypto upwards. And then you as a trader, you had an opportunity to simply do what you did with your execution platform of artificial intelligence, to simply go in and out and collect your profit and watch the markets, and you continue to do that. So with Royal Q Business Partners, for me, it's a game changer in a sense that parameters are fully open to you, but I want you to understand that it takes a lot. Like for instance, let's show people where will this 8% be shown. Can you please click on the candlesticks? Candlesticks where there's bait stroke USDT. You click on that blue button of trace basket. Those are the candlesticks. Graphic representation of the price movement. And now look at what is happening here, business partners. Where you will see plus 8% when your 5% is collected for stock is where you see minus 5.45%. At the moment, it's minus 5. In the last 24 hours, the market has actually been on a downward movement. The price has been going down, meaning money has actually been coming out of this instead of coming in. But for you who's already holding the asset, you want more money to come into this asset that you are holding because you have invested into it. You have already bought the asset. So you want more people to come and invest into what you have already acquired so that the value of what you have increases, thereby giving you an opportunity to sell what you have in profit. Listen, to sell it at a higher price than the one you actually bought it at. That's how simple it is. And I'm of the opinion that when you understand how serious a lot of work goes into making real resources or this digital asset available for us to enjoy. A lot of work takes place behind the scenes, so to speak. People transacting, buying, and so forth. And not only that, other people in different parts of the world educating people about the importance of having crypto assets, for instance. Look at what America is doing to our markets today. It's crazy, and we are somehow at the mercy of what happens. When there's a war, we are affected here in Africa also. Why? Because they control bigger chunk of the global economy. I was listening to Gary of the who's this of this guy of the SEC. Yes, Gary Gensler, about him managing or overseeing a portfolio of more than 120 trillion by this SEC, for instance. And this is crazy. It's too much money, business partners. So now imagine when we work very hard in sharing information of cryptocurrencies, making people come into a space that you've already invested in, a space where you already have a tool of artificial intelligence that executes trades for you in the biggest platforms of the markets, that is the exchanges like Binance, for instance, and people convert their political currencies or fiat currency into the crypto space, and they come and play into this space, and we're creating an alternative to the financial system. But a lot of work has to be done, because at the moment, business partners, we are sitting at just above 2.2 trillion US dollars. But someone outside the space of crypto is controlling over 120, managing over 120 trillion. So when will such money be converted into the crypto space? For instance, a lot of work has to be done for such actually to happen. So now you can see that it is what it is. America didn't get to where they are overnight. It took a whole lot of work for them to do so. And I'm of the opinion, even ourselves, we will continue to thrive over time as we apply consistency in building, in trading, in educating, in applying patience, because you know what you have. You know the asset that you have. And let's say maybe one day, even say maybe by the time when 30% of 120 trillion United States dollars that Gary actually, they are controlling or managing and so forth, get into the crypto space, but then you will be miles ahead, of the curve of evolution of money, so to speak. And that's what is going to be happening with time. There will be times whereby you won't put as much time as you do now into candlesticks, price movement, and so forth. But it's very important, because when you see people push something with passion and they really commit themselves to it, it's because they can see the future and they see exactly what is happening, for instance. And that's what it is. So now here we are. Money has gone in there. Although on the candlesticks at the moment, it is not plotted. There is no horizontal line that shows your average price of the overall position or the average price of the sub position. What you need to do, Leader Ngam, is this. You look at the price action, the blue area that is moving up and down there. It is action price. It shows you currently where the market is, and that it is tied to the current candlestick. And then you can see at the moment is 0.26. It's 0.26. Then you look at your highest margin call, for instance, if you're trading sub-bin mode real-time settlement, you look at the highest margin call, and you know that its average price is either above or below this. If it is below this current price, you know that position is in a floating profit. It is in a floating profit. You can easily collect profit from that. That is if it is 1% floating profit, for instance. Then the robot is able to close it for you accordingly or systematically on your exchange site. So this is what is happening. And what you are able to do manually is only according to the return rate. The percentage of the return rate, if it is in profit, it's at least 0.3%, for instance. That's what I recommend. Then you can manually just close that, and the whole asset is going to be collecting profit for you. So that's what is happening at the moment. And business partners, look at this. We are watching, look at the current candlestick. It's bearish, it's red, it's going down, but you've put money into this. It doesn't mean because I've put money into this, the market must go up. No, we are millions of people from different parts of the world trading. Some entered into this coin even yesterday, and someone can feel like, you know what, I wanted this price to push up maybe to 28, but I don't see it reaching it there. Let me just sell for the profit that I have. Maybe they are floating 1%, 2%, some 8%, some 20%, depending on when they've been holding the asset, for instance. In profit, they can sell and switch to another market. You're an investor also. You don't need permission from your president to sell your bake, or from your central bank. You don't need to fill in forms to the central bank that I'm about to move now. You don't need to do that, So it's your own crypto. You can sell it at any time and move to another asset. And it's possible that you can make even bigger profits than here. But then it has to go with your trading style, your risk appetite, money management, and so forth. Because if we were to go to homepage, let's quickly switch to homepage and see. It's 5 minutes past. We're going to stop recording and we'll go to Q&A session. Let's go please to homepage. We just want to show people. We return button again. But I'm expecting, okay, let's go. Okay, now you can see business partners. Look at RAD. RAD has gone up by 38%. But as a trader, you shouldn't be agitated. Ooh, 38%. Oh, I missed out. Missed out what? You are holding a position also. You are trading. You cannot be all over. That will be a question of affordability. If you have to trade all these coins, you'll need a lot of money to do that. Imagine having $3,060 on each and every one of these coins in here. Literally, you'll be milking money every day. Every day. But when will you get to that level? Or if you have the money now, that's incredible then. But think about it. So that's what it's happening there. There are coins that are moving up, but a lot of coins averagely are not doing so well, because if you can just go below UNFI at the bottom, you'll see that a lot of coins there look small percentages, look small. Already you can see that 1% up. Imagine you want to collect 1% from those positions. You can see JST just shows some 2% there. But maybe if you can click on change, you can see rearrangement of the percentages. When you click on change, I'm looking at the time. We have to stop the recording and we continue with Q&A session. We have a few minutes to do so, business partners. Thanks to those who attended tonight.